Okay. 3, 2, 1. Hello.
What are we calling this again?
You wanted to call it Weeabo Trash.
Oh, yeah. Alright.
It's also normal for the other person to say hello to, Cody. So
Nah, fuck that.
we've already fucked it up. Good job.
Well, yep. Welcome to Weeabo Trash, where we
I was gonna
make
say
the most trash podcast in the world, too.
Gonna say just two guys talking about anime. You know, the normal things 20-something-year-olds do.
Adult men talking about fucking children's cartoons.
Well, anyways, we're supposed to be discussing the summer season. We both kind of picked out some stuff we wanted to watch, and we're gonna discuss what we found interesting enough to actually watch and stuff like that, and what we thought of it, what we thought was actually worth watching. We're gonna kind of go down the list here, and then kind of at the end of discussing each show, probably kind of go like if you recommend it or not, kind of thing.
Keep in mind that these are mostly 1 to 2 episodes. Like, not even every show is actually.
I was gonna say I'll say how many. We'll say how many episodes we've watched, if we actually can remember.
Yeah, take it with a grain of salt if you're thinking.
I gotta say, I've watched more new shows I think I've ever done in the last couple of days, and it's kind of messed me up a little bit. So
yeah, I've watched more anime in the last couple of days. I watched
like
almost 10
last
years.
night it was slightly painful. I watched like 4 different shows last night, and going in between was just like,
yeah,
jumping around so much.
So just a slight warning. I've been on a One Piece binge, and so
I was gonna say I've probably watched about twice what he has, but I can just describe to him shows. So, okay, so what do you want to discuss first here?
So we'll just go through the Annie chart, I guess, and whatever.
I'll discuss Overlord Free real quick.
All right.
Overlord Free, new episode actually coming out today as we're recording this podcast. I haven't seen the second episode of season 3. Season 1 was actually probably the best episode of the show so far, actually, because it was just kind of the fucking around episode of the characters. Just basically the main character forces all of his people to take a day off, even though they're like, "What's a day off?" And so it's just basically them all fucking around, and it was actually pretty entertaining. I actually still don't think Overlord is the best. Like, people seem to think Overlord's like the greatest thing ever made. I don't think it is. It's a good show, don't get me wrong. It's just... But no, if you like the second and first season, still going strong, you know. Good opening. Particularly good opening, actually. All the openings have actually been good for that show. Animation seems like weirdly better for a third... Like I was like noticeably, like I was kind of like the characters look more on model and the colors look better. I don't know if that was just first episode syndrome or what, but
probably. I was like, so far I need to watch it, but it's another isekai, so
yeah, there's no rush. Yeah. You know, you might as well wait for the third season to be over at this point. So I guess we'll move on to, we're gonna talk about Evil Angel.
Yep.
Because I have watched Evil Angel now. So you want to go with it's not Evil Angel. I keep thinking that. It's Angels of Death.
Yeah, or
Angels. Important.
The Americans like destroying of Japanese what is that? Satsuki no Tenchi?
Why are you bothering?
Yeah. Another JC Staff series that okay.
You don't like JC Staff, do you?
I mean, I like Toradora.
I like JC Staff a lot. I think they get a little bit of unnecessary hate. I do dislike how they've handled some shows, but I like JC Staff.
They did Food Wars too, didn't they?
Maybe. I can look it up, but
so Angels of Death is a new horror series. We don't tend to get a lot of those, but
there's kind of a reason for that usually.
Yeah, like Japanese anime horror.
Yeah, they do Food Wars.
Okay, so they don't have a great record. Like, I wasn't a fan of another. I like Higurashi, but everyone likes Higurashi.
I was gonna say, it's like saying like you like Higurashi.
Yeah.
Well, the issue with most Japanese horror is that it doesn't always usually fit American sensibilities of horror.
Yeah,
Japanese horror is more about being creepy, unsettling versus
you don't get the
slashers and
you don't get the anime. Tends to be more melodramatic and like overly dramatic in the bulk of it.
But did you hate everything about it? Because I thought it was well animated. I thought.
I'd say it looks all right with JC Staff. Everything they put out at least has a certain quality level. They are a competent enough studio.
Did you see episode 2?
I have not seen episode 2. Have you?
I've seen episode 2.
Okay, so it doesn't get any better because I hate.
I wouldn't recommend you watching it.
Okay.
I discovered something about the show, but I want to get your impressions of it fully.
Episode 1, at least, it's like there's characters. I think the main chick's Rachel or something.
Yeah,
it's
Rachel Gardner.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't remember any of the other two dudes that were in the show.
The Scythe dude doesn't get a name. His name is Zach, though.
Okay.
Or Isaac, or whatever the fuck it is. And then Danny is the eye doctor.
The creepy fetish
guy.
Doctor.
With the tongue that goes for days.
Yeah.
Which didn't work well at all. That was just a little... I discovered something about this show. Now, I want you to think about this show. Think about its setting. Does it remind you of anything?
A really bad Labyrinth adaptation mixed with shitty horror.
You're actually rather close. Because I watched it for 5 minutes and immediately picked up on it and was like, this is what I think it is. And I looked it up, and yes, it was. It is a RPG Maker based off an RPG Maker game.
Oh, God.
It is based... I was watching it, and I'm like, this feels so much like Corpse Party. I can't even stand it. I'm like, I looked it up, and I'm like, yep, it's based off... It's based off one of those.
Alright.
And because I thought it was based off a manga, and then I realized they just made a manga. And I don't know if it's more recent and it was just popular, but I was like, I look at the character designs, the music sounds really like, I don't know if I wrote this down several times in my notes, like, the music is so generic, kind of, fair use music sounding that I'm like, it sounds like they maybe took the actual tracks from the RPG Maker. It was like a freeware game.
Yeah, okay.
It's selling for apparently, like, I looked it up, it's like $10 on Steam. But yeah, no, it's just, if you don't know what we're talking about, basically, if you look up Corpse Party, basically, and you'll find out basically everything you need to know. There's kind of an ongoing saying of the popularity of, like, these kind of small RPG Maker games over the last kind of, I say, maybe like, 8 years?
Probably 8
increasing
years,
popularity.
Yeah.
It was like Corpse Party being kind of the gold standard for these kind of games. And
By
then,
the way, if you ever get a chance to play Corpse Party, the game's pretty cool.
yeah, it's actually a really good game. And then, we got, like, Mad Father is another one I know about.
Yeah, I've heard of that one.
There's a lot of different ones. They're all kind of usually kind of creepy situations with children, usually.
Yeah, so it's a nice market. If you do like the show by chance, if you do give it a shot, not recommending it though, there is a market for this stuff, and there's quite a bit of, a lot of Reddit forums and stuff to explore this kind of stuff. I
actually kind of like it, but I play those kind of games. My only issue is this. I was like, just watching, I was just like, why is this a show? Why isn't this an OVA series? I'm like, please don't be, if it's a half season, like, please don't be more than 10 episodes. I don't know if I could do 2 at 10 episodes of this, because the pacing is ungodly slow. Because they're basically going for gaming. Like, there's literally a part in the second episode where there's backtracking.
Really?
They have to go find a switch to open a door. Or there's, like, all these times where, like, they're finding notes and stuff. It's clear, like, in the game, like, finding notes. Like, and then, like, they basically go from, like, one area back to another area. They go back the other way. And there's a note that wasn't there before. Like, it just... Like, I applaud them for probably authentically following the game. Maybe could have taken more liberties with this, guys. We probably didn't need to see all this. Other than that, the story seems just kind of a lot of normal RPG Maker thing. I don't know. I would, if the show wasn't currently going to be a full whopping 16 fucking episodes,
Jesus Christ,
I would recommend it. I can't fucking recommend it. 16 episodes is too fucking many. I don't know what they're going to do for 16 fucking episodes.
Alright.
I'm like, how many episodes are we going to spend on each fucking floor of this compound? Yeah. You know, it's like, we're going to spend like fucking like 3 episodes on each floor. More than 2 was, like, 2 was already a little bit like, I don't know if we need 2 episodes on this floor.
Yeah.
And then I read in the comments, someone was like, they're skipping stuff. I'm like, Oh God, what the fuck are they skipping?
Skipping more backtracking through random fucking
Oh my God,
streets and shit.
No, so I don't know. The overall show is, if you like those kind of games, you probably get a kick out of it. I don't know if I'd recommend watching it while it's going because the pace is so fucking slow. It's annoying. It's definitely the weird show of the season.
Yeah, I'll probably watch at least episode 2, see how it goes. But
you won't. You'll turn it off. You'll turn it off halfway
most
through.
likely
I know you.
it's a
You'll
drop
turn it
kind of
off.
show.
There's nothing. Nothing happens. It's just they go to a different floor. The girl wants him to kill her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's
so
I would give it a tenuous recommendation of if you like that kind of stuff, go ahead and watch it. And Cody is giving a full pass on it here.
Right.
So
I guess we'll move on from that.
The cells at work,
which is one of those that I meant to watch and then I watched more One Piece instead. So
like a good shonen boy.
Yeah.
So basically, cells at work, Cody. Here's what cells at work is. A person in Japan in 2015 asked themselves, what if Osmosis Jones was an anime?
It's actually cells.
and there we have cells at work.
I could be on Japanese Osmosis Jones, alright.
I mean, it's not exactly like Osmosis Jones. It has a lot more kind of industrial look to the show. There's not as much kind of like actual squishy body parts. Like it's like building, like actual square rectangular buildings, and like there's like trees and.
Okay, so.
But yeah, so the show is basically, it is about a red blood cell who basically they all day, every day, basically run around transporting boxes which have like CO2 or nutrients or whatever in them. So like the first episode, she's like transporting a box of CO2 to the lungs to go out. And then like there's the white blood cells who is like, if you look at the thing, who basically, fight germs. They're actually kind of entertaining. They're actually probably the best part of the show because they're like pretty emotionless most of the time, but then they find germs and they go, germs, and they like grab like their knives and they go, kill the germs, and they stab them with all these blood and shit for like the stabbing germs.
So is this like leaning more towards like a comedy series, or is it just maybe like educational? Or?
It's both kind of like, it has some education kind of stuff put in there, not really, Kind of it's beyond basic biology of you know what a platelet is. Yeah. You know what a red blood cell is.
It's kind of referencing these and creating kind of a comedy adventure series kind of thing.
I don't know where it's going, to be honest. I don't like. It's actually kind of a weird show that I walked away going, that was a very high quality, fun, little enjoyable half hour I spent. I won't finish this show.
I'd be able to spend another 12 to.
I don't know what its point is. It's just kind of. I mean, it's entertaining. Don't get me wrong. If like, it has a great fucking opening, by the way. It's like one of like the best, like kind of like funny openings. No, it's everything's good about it. It's just I don't know if I could watch it. There's no real story. There's like even like the characters. I don't know what the characters are going to be doing. If there's going to be any kind of actual development for them. It's like they're kind of like as a weird thing where like the red blood cell girl seems to have a crush on the white blood cell guy, but. Can they bang? Can they have kids? Yeah. Like, I don't... Like, the world hasn't been explained enough.
Is there going to be progress in characters?
Like, the platelets are all children, so, like, are...
Oh, God.
Which actually is kind of fucking funny, to be honest. They're basically, like, kindergartners who are, like, moving around, like, supplies and, like, building stuff. Mm-hmm. No, it's an enjoyable, little, fun, weird show. I mean, I would definitely recommend to give it a watch. I watched the first 2 episodes.
So it's on my queue. I'm going to give it a shot as soon as I finally burn out on One Piece binging.
Give it a shot. I think you'll walk away like I did, being like, that was a enjoyable little thing.
But
that's some surprisingly good action scenes, too, which I wasn't expecting. I expected the action scenes to be like one-shot, like knife things, and then like, oh, they're actually...
actual fight kind of thing.
It's also really fucking funny. It's just, once again, it's not a show that I could see grabbing me a whole lot unless something changes in the next episode where there's actually some kind of plot.
I don't know if you can spend 4 to 10 hours of your life dedicated to viewing this.
No, but it's a good show. It's just
Gotcha.
unfortunate there isn't a whole lot to it at the moment, at least. So. And I was looking; it's still ongoing. It's been going since 2015. The manga has, so I assume there's something.
Some material. Okay, so you're gonna at least watch another episode or two to see where it goes, or?
Yeah, I'll try. You know.
Okay. So, well, that sells at work. I guess it at least gets a recommendation from the one.
Oh yeah, it gets a recommendation. Check it out. Yeah.
Okay, and I'll definitely be checking it.
And honestly, this season's kind of void of a lot of
like,
great quality stuff.
Not a lot to watch.
Take what you can get. How not to summon a demon lord. You want to try and pronounce that, Cody?
Nah, we're gonna go ahead and pass on the isekai.
I want you. Have you read the plot description?
I have not. I'm assuming.
I want you to guess what it is.
Well,
because you can guess most of the fucking time.
How not to summon a demon lord, and/or it says isekai in the title. Let's go ahead and say some nerd that plays too many video games gets transported into fantasy world and is all of a sudden a god in this world.
Forget one thing.
He finds true love by the first woman he meets and chases her ass around.
Close enough, harem.
Okay.
You know?
Oh, it's a full on harem.
You can't forget the harem, Cody.
Oh, yeah,
the harem's an important part of it.
Yeah, all the other girls too. Bone this guy, and he can't bone the one he wants to bone. So you know.
You haven't watched this, I'm assuming.
No,
right?
it's on the queue, but
I've watched the first 2 episodes.
Generic as it sounds.
If I was 14, I'd probably get into it a lot more.
Very ecchi. Or
yeah, it's a little more than I was expecting, actually. There's basically one girl who's just boobs. And there's basically you have the boobs, big boobs, elf, and then you have the lowly Neko chick.
Of course you do. Oh.
There's a weird rubbing the ears to orgasm scene.
Go ahead and get a full Monogatari kind of on in here.
I don't feel uncomfortable during most anime nowadays, but I felt uncomfortable during that. I had to pause it multiple times and be like, what am I watching? I don't know, the idea is kind of funny. It's usual, like, yeah, video game guy's really good in a video game, gets summoned to another world of basically these 2 girls who did a summoning ritual to summon something. It was basically a random summon ritual where basically they didn't know what they're going to get.
Okay.
But it's supposed to be strong. And then the next thing was, like, they're going to do, like, an enslavement ritual to, like, when you summon it and you tie it to yourself.
Okay.
Issue was he was wearing a magic ring that reflected all magic. So basically reflected back at the girls who are now like enslaved to him.
Wonderful.
Which is a little uncomfortable.
That is.
Which I honestly thought it would have been funnier if he was enslaved, like a guy getting enslaved to these 2 random girls who are like basically fighting over who's the owner.
Yeah, it would have been probably a more
because there's like an ongoing thing of like them fighting of like who is the owner of him, even though they're the ones who are currently enslaved.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's
like, is it pure comedy or is there even battles at all?
There's an actual plot going on. It's just between a bunch of boobs.
A bunch of boobs fighting each other.
One of the girls, this is spoilers. I should have said at the beginning of this thing, it's all spoilers. Yeah, one of the girls has like a demon sealed inside her that she wants him to help basically kill.
Okay.
And then the elf girl is like a runaway princess who is being forced to, or was trying to be, her brother was trying to force her to marry him. So, got some...
Japan keep it classy.
It's all kind of it's honestly kind of a slightly uncomfortable show. It's just kind of, I mean, if you like boobs and you like waifu material, it's there. You know what the worst part about this show is? I am more likely to finish this fucking show than Angels of Death or Cells at Work.
I mean, in the defense, if you're into ecchis, I don't feel like I've seen a ecchi in a while. That's like
I haven't seen like a real pure
like a true,
ecchi,
where it's literally just tits constantly kind of stuff. Like, it's been a minute. So
it's third episode's usually the kind of the big episode. So if there's some kind of big twist at the third episode, which is usually kind of, or the 4th episode, which is usually kind of the final of the first volume, where like the big twist happens.
You get to the
it's kind of actually surprisingly well animated. Once again, it could be the first couple episodes. Usually the shows are animated like shit.
Yeah, take it with a grain of salt.
Honestly, surprisingly, all the shows I've watched were actually well animated.
Yeah.
Like, usually, like, there's shows like this which look like shit.
Yeah, they usually, it's a lot of still framed and, like...
Or, like, Angels of Death, I was like, I expect that to look like shit, you know?
At least with that being JC Staff, like, you kind of expect it to look decent, even if it's the material that it is. But there's a lot of studios I've never heard of when we looked through previewing all this before the shows came out, and there's a lot of studios that neither of us recognized. You go through the catalog, and they all are like terrible catalogs. And so far, I haven't seen a show that's like unbearably like badly animated out of what I have watched. So.
But yeah, final thing is, if you like ecchis, I'd recommend it. If you don't like ecchis, don't bother. If you're tired of isekai, if you don't like ecchis, nothing there for you. At least at the moment, I don't expect there to be, Hanebado. Yes.
Badminton.anime.
Do you watch it?
I watched the first episode. I didn't get through the other ones. So, yeah.
What did you think of the first episode?
Japan takes their badminton seriously, maybe, or maybe just anime ran out of sports to cover. But these kids are fucking hardcore into badminton. No, it's literally just imagine like Haikyuu or fucking Kuroko, and replace.
I was gonna say Prince of Tennis.
Honestly, I've never seen Prince of Tennis. So,
I've seen parts of it.
But that's like every sports anime. It's just nobody's watched that show in 10 years, 15 years. I don't know how old that show is.
The show, like, sorry, we're getting off topic for a second, but in Japan, they send chocolates for the Prince of Tennis characters, like, every year to the manga studio. They get, like, boxes and boxes of fucking chocolate.
Alright.
That's an actual thing. You can look that up.
Alright.
They had to tell people to stop.
Like, fans just send chocolates to these guys?
Yeah, like on, like, Valentine's Day or whatever.
Huh.
But... anything else to say?
I will be watching more of this.
Okay.
Yes.
You did like it.
Yes, I enjoyed what I did watch. Once again, like, none of the characters, but it's only one episode in, and sports anime, they take time to get kind of characters.
That's kind of the thing. Even 3 episodes in, I'm not super into the characters.
I don't remember a single name of them. I just remember that there's the one angry chick, and then there's the one prodigy kid, and then there's the nerds and the unathletic chick that hangs out with the prodigy chick. But I don't know any other names. I just know whatever character slot they're gonna fill in.
Can we talk about like the first 2 minutes? What'd you think? Like, 'cause I told you ahead of time that like.
Oh yeah, the getting like fucking ass stomped by this kid.
Well, how good the animation is.
Oh, it does look very good. Actually, who?
It's like a studio that hasn't done shit.
I actually did look into these guys. They did the bad CGI Berserk anime.
That's why I looked up too. I was like, wait, what?
Their past works are not
because
pleasant.
The first 3 episodes has kept that quality, by the way. Of the badminton matches look fucking amazing.
Okay, yeah, no, it looked really good. Actually, had to look them up. I found out the studio is part of the same company that is Trigger, so they're part of that group.
Yeah, so, that's kind of surprising, actually.
Maybe they brought some talent over to actually do the work.
One thing I was going to talk to you about, though, on the visual side, that show is visually fucking dark. Did you notice that?
Yeah.
Like, sports anime are usually a lot more bright.
Yeah, they're very bright colored and, like, a lot of very bright light effects. Like, it's always, like, staring into, like, the light, and there's a lot of shadow overcasting of characters, and at least in the first episode, like, that match
it keeps that. It goes with the tone of basically, like, like the big girl's dealing with the fact that she's put all this effort into this sport, and then she basically just got crushed that fucking hard by someone who was like a year younger than her.
Yeah, and like as you see, like in this just the first episode, like the kid that crushes her 21-0 or whatever, however badminton scores worked, but it's like 21 heart, I think is what they say.
It's 21 love. It's the same as tennis. They go love to go.
I don't know the exact point translation of that, but
it's 1 point per hit.
Okay, so
so she hit 21 times without her getting anything.
And yeah, she gets blown out, and the kid later on you meet her again, and she like doesn't have any love for the sport or care to play it. Like the whole thing is she doesn't want to join badminton, even though she's like this prodigy child. So it's like the fact that this kid that like has nothing but love for the sport and wants to be the best just gets totally blown out. Like a fucking kid that doesn't give a fuck is... At least it's a nice change in angle, because most of the other sport animes that I've seen, they're usually the person that gets blown out at the beginning. Like, the other person loves the sport, so maybe that'll be a nice angle, is that the kid that's a prodigy... Like,
you find out some more, like, going forward, I'm not going to spoil it for you, but you find out some, like, there's some fucking awful subject, like you find out like some bad stuff, and like what happened with her, and like the girl in the picture she's holding, like do you know who she is yet?
I assumed it was her mom or her sister.
It's her mom.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's...
So
you find out what happened with that, and, like, the picture she's looking at, you find out what that picture is, and it's like, oh, that's kind of fucking awful.
Okay.
No, I highly recommend the show just as it's so different from the other sports anime I've seen of late that I can't not recommend it.
Yeah. Plus, I mean, I don't know. We're both sports fan anime.
Yeah,
so
right.
it's like, I guess that was something. It's like, if you don't like Haikyuu, you don't like Kuroko, you don't like iShield 21, Prince of Tennis, it's like it.
And even if you don't like those shows, I would actually recommend Hanebado because it's realistic in a lot of ways. There's not a whole lot of like crazy shit going on. Yeah, no, it's literally just people who are like, and there's like they're explaining some of the techniques of like smashing like later on and stuff like that. But there's not any Power Rangers. There's
so I guess if you like, maybe that is an issue that some people tend to have with sports anime, is that they get too much into these kids' basically becomes gods. And like Kuroko, for instance, they're a Super Sentai group that has superpowers. Each of them has their own special superpower. Like fucking the show, at least as of early on, hasn't developed any of that, and maybe they'll keep that running through the entire show. So if that's your biggest issue with maybe sports anime in general, might be worth looking at.
And in the next couple episodes, I definitely want to discuss with you later. They introduce the blonde guy who's like the coach, and he's kind of a cool character. I like him a lot. I don't know exactly what the show's going for at the moment. I really hope the next couple episodes, at least, are more downtime episodes to get more into the cast. But we still haven't really, even 3 episodes in, we've only gotten maybe 2 or 3 of them. Gotten really into them.
Okay.
But no, I'm glad you liked it though.
Okay. So first show that's like pretty much a solid recommendation.
Solid recommendation. Yeah. Okay.
And the next one, I'm sure.
Oh yeah. I'm so excited to talk about this show.
The next show is Grand Blue.
Grand Blue Dreaming.
Yes.
Please, I've read the manga, so I want you to take this. Explain this show to people, Cody. Please.
Okay. So, opening scene, it's like all the images you imagine it's a diving anime or something, or some water side, like, or diving and looking at fish.
The ocean.
Maybe it's Free 2.0, kids obsessed with water. 5 minutes in, he opens the door to 2 naked men fucking playing rock, paper, scissors and drinking. 10 minutes in, he is naked playing rock, paper, scissors and drinking. 20 minutes into the episode, they've made some movement. They've gone to the college. By the way, this is actually just a college
I want to say this. If you haven't watched this show already, go watch it without any, like... Cause it is...
Yeah, this has been my favorite show I've watched this season so far. We're both college students, and Kyle not so much comes from like the party background, but I very much existed in my early years of college were just, I came in, I fucking got shit-faced, blackout drunk, do dumb shit. I had a friend that literally would take off his clothes and run down the fucking street like the shit. The show is very... Obviously,
that hardcore party.
It's very much the hardcore party, which is something you do not see in Japanese like animation.
If this show doesn't get in trouble, I will be shocked.
Yeah. One wonderful
Japan's
thing.
going to freak out about this.
A wonderful opening bit to the show is literally a card that just reads, "We do not support underage drinking."
All these characters are 20 years old, even though they're clearly supposed to be 18-year-olds who are freshmen in college. Then they even like said like when they introduce characters, like they put like 20 years old on them. It's like they're not 20. No, they're 18. They're college freshmen.
Yeah. So underage drinking bad. Don't do this in real life, and it's everything you're gonna do.
And the fucking facial expressions.
Yes.
they nailed that from the manga.
It does a wonderful old like 80s anime style of like really hard lined facial structures from like the more modern anime style. It'll just stop, pause frame, hardcore facial structure with like a big black circle around someone's dick, and they're just it's wonderful. It's very much just an adult comedy series.
It's something that you don't fucking see at all. It's like
this is not something anime, at least that I've ever seen, is explored really.
I read the manga a while back when I first heard about the anime. I usually do that. I fucking laughed so hard at that manga. I've never laughed at a manga as much as I've laughed at that fucking manga. Like it's so fucking funny.
Like,
it's
outside of
Like, can I just say the scene where he goes, like, his seniors are like, "Don't worry, we'll make sure you get to class on time." And then in the next shot where he basically wakes up naked in the courtyard of the school, and they're like, "Yeah, we got you here on time, man. Go to class." And he has to attend his opening orientation in his fucking box.
Yes, this poor kid. Like the entire middle sequence of the episode is this kid running around interacting with people that I'm assuming are going to be more main characters.
Yeah, there's basically four main characters, and then there's like the rest of the club.
It's just him asking to take their clothes, and then the cops chasing him around, the security, chasing this pervert, and he's just trying to get some clothes because he got fucking blackout drunk the night before and passed out on campus. And then there's like this end party where the two seniors that are basically recruiting these freshmen, because if any of you have gone through freshman college,
that's a really big thing in Japan,
big thing
too.
A lot of colleges do in Japan in particular,
for
emphasizes
clubs.
Yeah. And so these guys are recruiting, they're doing a big fucking drinking party, and these kids keep like trying to get non-alcoholic beverages. So like the first on their hand is oolong tea, which it shows the ingredients, and it's like
it's vodka and whiskey.
It's like 7/8 vodka, an 8th whiskey. Hands him, it's like oolong tea, lights it, and it sets on fire.
Here's some water.
Yeah.
Why is it on fire? Oh, it's flammable. Who knew that?
It's wonderful.
And then there's basically the guy who becomes like his best friend later on, who's this massive otaku guy. Like, they keep trying to basically fuck each other up. And they keep giving each other drinks that aren't, they say it's like, here's some water. It's really a glass of fucking vodka.
And then they, of course, do like the very do the facial structure. And like one of them's like the two of the otaku kid and the main kid, and they're like one of them shattering a glass in his hand. It's so funny. Like I have not seen an adult like raunchy ass comedy in terms of an anime since like Panty and Stocking.
I will say there is one point where I don't understand exactly why. Okay, so one of the things that doesn't come up in the first episode a whole lot, besides like one or two scenes, is there's actually also a lot of ecchi in it. He kind of saw it.
Yeah,
he moves in with his cousins, and basically he has two cousins.
Oh, and one of the cousins seems to have
the younger one thinks he's fucking disgusting.
Yeah. They do a flashback scene where it looks like this girl idolizes this kid and like was in love with this cousin, was excited for him to come
childhood
back,
friend.
And, yeah, it's like
and then she opens the door.
He's naked playing rock paper scissors and drunk, and she's just like, oh, he's just like everyone. He's another like drunken idiot. It's so good.
I will say it does actually. It's one of those series I'm not exactly sure where it's going in terms of the manga. Actually, it's getting a lot of the range of the anime, but it seems to be kind of slowly moving into some more dramatic stuff going on later on with like some of the characters.
Like looking at more like a romance angle, or
there's
is it just
some
kind of
weird.
like
there seems to be a bit of a love triangle developing. I don't know how much they're actually sticking with that. Basically, you want me to spoil this?
Nah, probably keep it off just for anyone that is looking forward to it.
Well, no. Basically, there's going to be four main characters, generally speaking, which is going to be the two guys, the younger cousin Shisei, and then they're going to introduce another girl later.
Okay.
I hope this is a full season, by the way.
Yeah, no.
Because there's enough material for it, definitely.
So yeah, this is like if I was gonna recommend one show, though, this does get a nice asterisk. It's very adult content. And if you're not into raunchy adult drinking hardcore comedies, like this probably is just a hard pass for you. But if you do enjoy,
if you want that, if you've been missing that in your life,
something like you don't see very often in anime, and you would like to see an anime take on that, like
because for a country that's so legitimately obsessed with drinking, you hardly ever see it.
No, it's all the very
and it's usually the old people who are drinking, and then this is like I've seen two anime recently with actually young people, which is Watoki or the Love is Hard for an Otaku.
Yeah.
It was actually them going out. They go to bars after work and stuff, and then they're like in their 20s, and this is like the first anime I think I've ever seen where it's like, no, he's like this is fucking 20-year-olds.
Yeah, this is how like college kids when they get away from their parents drink. It's like this is life for these kids, and I'm excited to see where this goes. I'll definitely be watching this one.
Oh, by the way, it gets so much better. Wait till it introduces his group of friends. Wait till he basically it becomes a running gag later on that basically his major is it's 100 people in his major or something. 3 of them are women, 97 of them are guys. So basically his friend group of 5 guys, including him, the other guy, the otaku guy, and then I think 4 other guys. Who basically are all a bunch of fucking losers who just want girlfriends. And, except they're all just pieces of shit. They can't.
So yeah, but this gets a easy recommendation.
Oh yeah, this is. So if I hadn't already read the manga, and I'm not going to recommend something I've already read. I would say this is my top recommendation, but it's still my hard recommendations. If you I just don't want to recommend something as my top recommendation as something I've already read.
Yeah. One thing to note, though, is this is on a Amazon streaming service, Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
So if you are looking around for this through Crunchyroll, Funimation, and the other popular streaming
that's a good
services,
thing to mention. Yeah.
It is kind of buried in Amazon's. You have to hunt it
down. If you're gonna try and find it, make sure you type in the search bar "Grand Blue Dreaming Anime" because if you try just "Grand Blue Dreaming," the manga is gonna come up a lot. Just type in anime; it'll show up right at top. So. For whatever reason, Amazon can't figure out how to fucking stream anime.
Yeah. Moving on.
Banana Fish.
Have you seen
I have seen Banana Fish. I watched it last night.
I don't even know the plot.
So, you know how I said last time I wasn't going to recommend a show I've already read as my show of the season? It's because I wasn't going to recommend this as my show of the season.
Okay.
So let me describe this to you. So, first of all, I want to get background because I immediately kind of noticed this. So there's kind of been that movement lately of kind of adapting stuff from the 80s, like Devilman and a couple other shonens, early from 90s.
Yeah, you got the bring back.
This is from this is a shoujo series from the 80s.
Huh.
It was just completely out of. I guess it was kind of out of character for her to write something like this. But yeah, so basically they kind of modernized it, which I don't really like when they do this with a lot of the older shows they keep bringing back. So it's not. Because originally supposed to be the Vietnam War, but it's not. It's Iraq now. But basically, it opens up with an Iraqi squad, and basically, one of the soldiers kind of goes crazy and shoots most of his squad, except for 2 people who kind of stop him. And so he seems to be in some kind of weird haze, and the only thing he can kind of squeak out is banana fish. You're like, what the fuck does that mean? You know? Okay. Years down the line, or I don't know how long it's been, basically it's following his brother in New York, who basically now takes care of his basically dementia kind of older brother who, once again, keeps just repeating banana fish. That's the only thing he'll say. It's kind of basically a bit of a comatose state. But his little brother is, at the moment, a 17-year-old gang leader in New York. And is basically almost in charge of all the gangs in New York, actually. And it kind of opens up with him running into a guy who tells him basically free things, tells him an address, hands him a pendant, and goes and says banana fish. Okay. And he's like, how do you know what that is? And the guy dies. And then he basically takes the pendant. I won't spoil most after that, but and it's about kind of a lot of basically also the main character has a close relationship with a mob boss who they don't work directly, they don't work for the mob or under the mob, but they have kind of I won't get in your way, you won't get in my way kind of relationship, and that basically goes south pretty quickly. Okay. Once the whole pendant thing gets involved. Basically, it seems to be kind of him finding some big conspiracy thing of what is banana fish, what's going on here. Besides that, it also introduces a 19-year-old photographer assistant from Japan who has come to help document kind of New York gangs, and so they kind of go to their headquarters, and they kind of immediately get along. It's a great show. I would honestly probably skipped it if it wasn't for the fact I saw the studio name is Studio Mappa. Okay. And it's gonna say for those of you who don't know, apparently you already know, people who made Terror and Resonance, and are a fucking great studio. It's good ass show so far. I looked it up. It's apparently 19 volumes of the original manga run. So I don't know if it will actually cover everything. I assume it probably will. I assume it feels like a big full episode, full series. But no, recommendation of the season. Actually, it's high quality in basically almost every regard.
Okay, I'll definitely check this out because I never noticed that the studio on it was Mappa, so I'll definitely have to check that out. Because
it's I'm also a little bit obsessed with the opening.
Oh yeah,
and the opening and like the music. Well, they use some more kind of American style, kind of like I don't know how to describe it, kind of music. And yeah, it's pretty. I don't have much else to say besides it's just fucking good. Yeah,
Is it on Crunchyroll?
It's on Amazon. Amazon. Once again, type in Banana Fish anime and Amazon search bar, and it should show up. Okay. Amazon Prime. So.
Well, I will definitely have to be watching that one then. Next up is Island. Did you
watch on the list? No, Did you watch Island? No, I'll just keep going down. Yeah, I'll tell you if I watched it. If you, or if you have something you watched.
Say. Alright.
Fooly Cooley's still going. I haven't watched second season yet, so we got nothing to discuss. I didn't watch the beach volleyball anime. I watched Banana Fish instead, and I'm fine with that. That's some comedy. I have watched this one.
Alright.
Yuuna and the Haunted Hot Springs. I actually already kind of knew about this show. It's been on manga sites for years. It's kind of a Shonen Jump series, so it's kind of Shonen Jump ecchi harem kind of thing. It seems to have some more kind of, I don't know if it has like how much combat it's gonna have, but it has a little bit of action, I guess. I don't know. It's a kid who basically ever since he was a child was spiritually sensitive and basically had an issue of being possessed by ghosts or having ghosts bother him constantly, moving around basically because no one wanted him, because that's obviously a bit of a hard thing to deal with. Basically got taken in by a medium who trained him, and he basically can now exorcise ghosts by punching them. Yeah, anime. So basically he's now moved, basically it starts with him moving to a hot springs town, moving into a old hot springs, and basically it's haunted with a ghost, which is the main girl on there, who is the ghost of a high school girl. And then everyone else has, of course, girls in the inn. And they're all kind of got weird stuff. Like one's like seems to be a ninja, one seems to be like a cat or something. I don't know. It's Studio Zybeck, so I get a lot of like almost kind of To Love Ru vibes from it. Kind of like that kind of style of like harem ecchi. I actually almost kind of like this show over the other ecchi I've watched, which is How Not to Be a Demon Lord, or How Not to Summon a Demon Lord. If you like the Shonen Jump harem ecchi series like To Love Ru,
another one of those.
Yeah, it's kind of just another one of those. I don't know. I'm gonna give a couple more episodes to see if it draws me in. Okay. It's a tenuous recommendation. I don't really have anything I'm probably gonna say directly no to. Do you have any questions about it? Because it's not really.
Nah, it's not really a genre I tend to.
No, there's not really much for me to talk about, to be honest.
Okay. This is one I do want to mention. Happy Sugar Life. As far as I know, it's not available in any legal streaming services.
I can't find it either.
If it is available,
if someone listens to this and they know where to find, I was gonna say comment and tell us.
That is a legal streaming.
I was gonna say if you do not post fucking Anime Freak, that's not legal.
Don't any of those torrent sites or anything. Of course, don't.
We don't. If I'm gonna watch anime, I'm not gonna watch some shit quality crap audio and.
So we're not here to promote those kinds of services. But if you do know it, if you know that someone picked it up and it's just getting distributed through maybe a later means or something, this is a series I do want to watch. It's another apparently a horror series, but as of right now, neither of us have seen it. So.
And I've not heard great things. It didn't look good. It looked like it was going to be a trash show. Like but you like that guy. You watched. He watched King's Game. So
I tend to watch some pretty garbage anime.
And then he gets on me for my shit. I haven't watched any of that. There's we can mention the PA Works show.
There is another big one that is, as far as we know, is not available anywhere. It's
I don't know. We don't know if Netflix got it or what, but the PA Works show, which looks cool.
Yeah, it's Tenrou, Sirius, the Jaeger. It's like a 30s mystery, like action series. What it sounds like.
Is that what it is? I don't know anything about it.
It's PA Works. Like I try to watch everything they put out, even though I don't tend to ever like anything they put out. Their shows always look amazing.
I was gonna say I also have the issue where like I watch shows like from them and then I walk away going, that kind of sucked. It's there's such a like we'll talk about PWare for a second I guess, but it's just everything they make I just walk away going like, what, like okay, here's how it usually starts off with me. I open up with the first couple episodes being like, this is a great world, this is a great setting, there seems like interesting fun characters, and then over the course of like 20 episodes like watch that dissolve into blandness.
Yeah, like what was the there's the fish people one, the crossover world. Like
I don't want to mention that show.
Remember the name of that one, but
that show was like a show that like had legitimate stuff going on, and then it like just decided fuck it at the end. I don't understand that.
I dropped that one around like 8 or 9 episodes in, but it pretty sure
it went against its own fucking point too.
Yeah.
Like the whole point was basically people start out. Okay, I'm gonna spoil this show. I don't give a shit. It's been out. It's been out for years.
No.
Come, God, no. It goes against its own fucking point.
That's fine.
It makes a point of this whole thing, and then it goes against it at the very end. I'm like, fuck you.
Okay, that's just whatever the fish.
Okay, we'll move on off PA Works.
But basically, it's a studio. We try to watch their stuff because it looks good, but they don't ever seem to hold up. So, but if you're a fan of Angel Beats, that's the studio that handled that. So,
is it Angel Beats?
Angel
I always think it's Kyoto Anime. But...
no, it's another key visual novel, but
okay.
So it's usually the adaptations they handle, but yeah, that's another PA Works, or another is another PA Works show.
The other JC Staff show,
that as well cannot be found anywhere, as far as to my knowledge, is Backstreet Girls.
You want to try and describe this show to people?
So basically, the simple premise is a couple failed Yakuza members basically receive punishment as they become. Are they cross-dressers or actually gender?
I think they got gender reassignment surgery.
Okay.
It seems to be a full comedy, kind of like not taking this seriously whatsoever.
But so it's a weird concept. It's one of those things.
That might be why no one picked it up here.
It's pretty out there, so maybe that's why it's impossible to find. But it's another JC Staff series, so it's probably at least animated well. But once again, we can't find it. If you guys know where it's at, I do actually want to watch this one.
I want to watch it tenuously just to be like,
just to see like how it goes.
There's another isekai on here.
Yeah.
We're looking at Annie chart, by the way, if you wonder what we've been looking at. There's another one I wanted to mention is because JC Staff, is that another JC Staff?
That's another JC.
There's a lot of fucking shit this season.
Got all that Food Wars money, I guess.
High Score Girl, which I like the manga for, and I'd like to watch. Yeah, it's actually kind of interesting little anime story of. It's basically the manga is the story is about basically kind of like the boom of the Street Fighter 2 in the arcades in Japan and all around the world, really. And I think also eventually kind of grows into the actual growing competitive scene for that game once that started. I'm not current on the manga. I got decently far into it. It actually got into a lot of trouble because it was showing Street Fighter characters without permission. It was kind of necessary to plot. So basically, the anime was supposed to come out, I think like 2 years ago now. Like the anime was super delayed, and so was the manga. Manga got like stopped production for quite a while. If I can find it, once again, put it in the comments because I'd like to watch it. Anything you want to say? Are you interested in the show at all?
Not really. It's not a topic I tend to have too much interest. But this
it's just kind of competitive gaming. It looks like, or kind of arcades. But I don't know if you grew up with arcades. I didn't really grow up with arcades. Besides the bowling alley.
Occasional
bowling alley. You can take that one.
All right, so
I'm gonna sit over here and take a drink.
So I actually only got about halfway through the free season 3 came out. So, kind of, we mentioned earlier, I watch a lot of weird trash anime that you don't expect from me because I kind of fit more in, like, the dude bro culture. But I have this weird fascination with, like, really bad Kyoto Annie shows. And Free was one of them I watched. And the first 2 seasons I absolutely hate. Season 3 is looking like it's more of the same, and I absolutely am probably going to hate it, but I'm going to watch it all because I always watch all of these shows.
At least if you watch the dub, you get to hear what's the guy who plays Nagisa?
Did they bring Octopimp in to do?
No.
Honestly, I don't know.
No, Octopimp hasn't made shit in forever. It's actually starting to piss me off. Octopimp makes the free abridged series 50% off. No, Nagisa in the dub is played by Smoker.
Oh, Greg Ayers.
Greg Ayers, yeah.
Yeah, they always cast him as like...
The dub makes that show a lot more tolerable. For me, at least.
But if you like Free, you know what Free is. If you watch Free, you're going to watch more Free.
Even if you don't watch Free, you know what fucking Free is.
And you know it's not for you. It's Boys with Boys Swimming. Put it that way. Continue down the list. One thing I guess worth mentioning is the new Madhouse show this season. Though I don't know if this.
Well, the new Madhouse show is also Overlord.
Oh yeah, Overlord is continuing. Yeah, so that's a Madhouse.
Well, you don't know this. I don't want to really want to talk a whole lot about this show because you don't even understand what it's from.
I don't know what it is.
It's a spin-off show of another show. I think the original show is called Akagi or something.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a gambling, high stakes, like gambling for your life kind of show.
This one's like
it's really super big in Japan. If you saw the main character, you might recognize him.
But that one is Chunkin Kenkro.
It's like Daily Manager Tengawa or something.
Oh, okay, but
oh, that's right. We still have that show to discuss.
Oh, all right. So the next one we're going to be talking about is
I want to hear your impression.
Another JC Staff show. Planet.
Is that all the JC Staff? How many?
I'm
there's
wondering
like
if
4 or 5 fucking shows.
I'm wondering if AnyChart just accidentally stuck JC Staff on everything on here, and it's not actually JC Staff still. But who knows? But according to AnyChart, JC Staff did Planet With. So this is one I only got 1 episode into as well. Yeah.
Not surprised.
First impressions off that, I hated the show. I hate the design of the show. My first 15 minutes, I text this guy just basically being like, I'll watch Planet With, what the fuck is this, or something along those lines, because the opening is basically this weird black cat human and a maid, and this shonen character.
You don't like Cat Sensei?
No.
you don't like that cabbage eating scene?
Yeah, and then this cat eats just a fucking head of cabbage. It's like, what am I watching? I don't like the mecha design. It's a Super Sentai mecha series that's an anti... I don't know, the kid's like hunting down the Super Sentai group or something.
Yeah. It's kind of the show story is kind of a weird kind of who's really the bad guy kind of situation.
Yeah, it's like basically these kids are in school, at least the first episode. Like I said, you've seen the second episode, so you always know more of what's going on, but the planet's invaded by these weird cats with human arms as asses, kind of things. They're floating.
That's the way to describe it. I think there's more. I think it's a bear. There's a different one in the second episode.
Okay.
By the way, it's a pig
that can't be harmed by traditional weapons. Basically, the military comes out, they shoot these things, it just turns into cotton.
Or it seems to be showing it's like showing happy memories or something.
Yeah, and then like
its deterrent seems to be making people not want to fight.
Yeah. And then this Super Sentai group shows up, turns into a bunch of robots, goes and gets inside of it and kills
Someone pointed out it seems to be a Zodiac thing.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, I had noticed that. But there's like tiger and rat and like tiger, rat, bunny. I don't think it's totally accurate.
Maybe. But this is a show I'll give it the second episode because you said watch the second episode, but if it wasn't for
I don't think you'll like it still.
Okay.
Well, let me give a little bit of background. I actually, you're gonna hate me for this. It's actually probably my favorite show this season.
Really?
Because, well, okay, here's the thing.
You have a fandom for the manga.
The author wrote, okay, you know those like figures that like the cat's trying to look up skirt of is That's the same as the show.
Yeah.
I'm sure someone who's like jumped to that point is probably like, what the fuck did he just say? That's basically the main character from like the big series. Basically, the author is really known for writing a series called Lucifer and the Biscuit Hammer. And he also has another series called Spirit Circle. Or Spirit Circles, or whatever it is. Whatever emphasis or plural. And he's a very weird, unique style. And as someone who's actually read his work and understands his style, I can probably see a little bit more where he's going than you can. Doesn't mean I expect you to like his style. His style always starts out a little weird. Like, you don't really, you're kind of like, what the fuck's happening kind of style. And once you get to the point where you've actually figured out what's happening, once it kind of gets in, like Lucifer and the Biscuit Hammer, which is considered his magnum opus by far at the moment, that doesn't get going till like the end of the second volume. Oh, yeah. Like the end of the second volume is where that story actually really gets like, people actually go like, oh, this is where it gets like amazing.
Okay. So might give it another episode or two, then and we'll see how.
Give it at least like 3.
Yeah. But
it's very weird. It shows. I will admit I don't super like the really long flashback in the first episode.
Yeah.
It's kind of, I'm sure there'll be a little bit more explained later. I do like the twist of the first episode, which is like he takes like the little which I'm going to guess is probably his people who are like been crushed into dust.
Yeah, maybe I'll say
that's kind of we still don't know.
Yeah,
there's also like once again there's like they kind of discuss at the end or in the second episode like where he's kind of talking to the cat and the maid, and he's like. He's not exactly saying what's going on because he did. I actually kind of like the offer for not having full. Just I'm going to explain every single plot thread. Yeah. Basically, they're kind of having a conversation. He's just kind of like you guys brought me here to be a soldier. I don't like you guys. He's like, but I don't like these vials even more. So I'll help you get these fucking things back. He's like, I don't want to, but I will.
I'm going to. Yeah. And this kid's just a giant blue cat robot, is what he pilots. Yeah. But, alright, so...
I the CGI, I will admit, it's not great.
Yeah, not really, no.
It's a little bit better once there's actually a fight scene in the second episode where, like, there's a couple... where it gets a little bit more into the action, where it looks a little bit better. It's kind of... CGI looks a little bit better once it's actually next to other CGI. It's when it's, like, next to animation, it's when it looks the worst, probably.
Yeah. But...
It's not a high budget show. How much I enjoy the idea of this author taking on super robots, I can't help but kind of be the guy in the background being like, can we get a Lucifer and Biscuit Hammer? Can we get that instead?
But, so, if you're into weird Super Sentai robots, and that's a weird thing you're into,
it's not a weird thing.
So you've already watched it, probably. But... I would not recommend it at all, but
I enjoy it.
Okay.
I'll leave it at that.
There's more Gintama.
I was gonna say a lot of the season kind of leftovers, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like Attack on Titan's also coming back.
Yeah, Attack on Titan 3.
I just don't really care. I've lost.
Did you watch the new Studio Dean show?
There's news.
Mia no Riju no.
I did not watch that. I don't usually watch Studio Dean stuff anymore, to be honest. There's a new Idol show by Studio Dean, which I will wait to hear a little bit. I actually like Idol shows, so I'll wait to hear it. Well, okay. I say I like Idol shows. I've only ever watched Love Live. But I need to actually watch Idol Master still.
Damn, Studio Dean's all over this list, too.
There's new Zoid coming. I didn't see it on Crunchyroll. I don't know where it'd be. It might be on like Cartoon Network or something. So.
Oh yeah, I guess they could have actual like.
I don't know. If I get a chance to, I'll probably watch it because I like Zoid.
Madhouse's other show they're doing this season, the third one, is a Marvel continuation.
Yeah, the Marvel thing. I think people like it. I don't really care. The leftovers for the season are. More My Hero Academia. Are you current?
I just watched the new episode yesterday for
I've read the manga, so I don't usually watch it concurrently, so I don't need to. What do you have anything you want to say about so far?
It's still probably the best shonen in a decade. It's
not a whole lot's happening at the moment in the story. It's more prepping for the next arc.
If you like shonen, you're already watching the show, and you're already like making your videos freaking out over every little bit of thing that happens.
Like every little...
Yeah. The kid got a new suit upgrade. Fuck yes!
They brought back the girl with the pink hair. Yeah.
It's like, I mean, the show's amazing. If you're into the shonen, like, traditional fighting shonen series, this is about as quality of one of those as you're ever going to get. It's Bones. It looks amazing. You've seen it, obviously.
The show, is like, I always think it's unfortunate the first season was the 12 episodes thing, because I feel like this season blew its load, like, halfway through. You know what I mean?
Yeah. They kind of got the big fight.
That was like episode 50 or something in the end, because the first season wasn't a full season for whatever fucking reason.
Yeah.
The first season should have ended with the fucking sports arc. I don't know why it didn't.
Yeah, but if you're watching this video, you're probably watching Hero, because everyone's watching Hero, so it's still good.
Steins Gate Zero, I don't have anything to say about it. I haven't watched it yet, mainly because I won't watch shows like that without it finishing.
I'm one of the two people that still hasn't seen.
You haven't seen Steins Gate. I was gonna say before I watch Steins Gate Zero, I'm gonna rewatch Steins Gate. Yeah. I've heard it's very good.
That seems to be the consensus from most people I've watched and follow. So if you're a fan of Steins Gate, you're probably watching this or waiting for it to finish to watch, because that show's got an amazing number of community members in this anime group that are obsessed with it. So
then next up on Leftovers, Persona 5 the animation. For those who don't own a PS4, here's the anime. It's that's all it really is. It's like if you don't like to play JRPGs, if you don't own a PS4, here you can get Persona 5.
Couple other things of note.
I think that's the only thing really. Besides, Lupin's still going. I've never seen any of Lupin though, so I don't really care. Apparently, Lupin's really big. I think it's Italy or something, or France.
Yeah, French people tend to really like.
That's basically the only thing. Yeah, I think that's kind of it for now.
Yeah. There's some movies and movies.
Overall, this season, not a great season.
No, it's a garbage fire season.
There's a couple shows that are kind of amongst. I think if you look, you can kind of find.
Yeah,
Banana Fish, Hanebado, Grand Blue Dreaming are kind of like my big free shows. I'm like, these are probably the best we're gonna get. And then I have the tenuous shows that are like, if you like this kind of stuff, Yuuna, Demon Lord.
Yeah, it's there's a little bit of everything. It's a nice variety in this season. There's nothing mind blowing.
It actually is a good thing to say about. There's a lot of different. There's sports. There's comedy.
Yeah, it's not 5,000 isekai shows. There's only I think 2 that are going on this season. Maybe 3.
I think it might be 4.
I guess yeah.
You have Overlord.
Yeah, Overlord. There's the Demon Lord, and then there's the
one of the other ones.
Generic sounding one that was down there.
They're all generic sounding.
Yeah, but it's at least a break from that for the most part. Grand Blue, I'm excited to keep watching that. Other than that, Attack on Titan Season 3, that's a big deal for those that still like Attack on Titan and they're still into that. That is out.
The show that lost so much steam that I just don't care.
Yeah, we both have kind of fallen off that train due to, however many years it took for it to put out Season 2 of that. 3 years, something like that. But
how to kill your own fucking franchise.
Yeah. It's overall, though. Not a great season, but it's summer. It's usually one of the weaker seasons of the year anyway,
it's a season that people kind of go, there's 1 or 2 good shows.
Yeah, and of course there's 1 or 2 good shows. So thanks for watching, guys.
I got nothing else. Thanks for watching. This probably won't be weekly thing. We'll probably do this more at the beginning of each season. So if you enjoyed hearing us ramble, feel free to subscribe and all that kind of good stuff that most YouTubers say.
Yeah, you're like, comment, subscribe. Even though I actually do like.
I try really hard not to say that, to be honest.
The generic.
I feel like such a fucking tool when I say it, but
it used to be rate, comment, subscribe.
Whatever the fuck it is.
But yeah, thanks for watching, everyone.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll hopefully be making more of these sometime around anything big like season changes. So.
Or if there's a particular subject or
it might occasionally come out with one that's just
like if there's
about.
like some big switch up with studios or something, we might make a smaller one. But thanks for watching. Have a good night.